Hello everybody, welcome back to Fantasy and Fandoms podcast. My name is Melissa. I'm part one of your host.
And Michael, part two of your host.
Yay!
The personality.
I'm the personality. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so today's episode would be talking about upcoming games for 2021 and maybe 2022. And I don't really have a whole lot of games, unless if, if there's something else that I just haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
That's coming out. What about you?
Yeah, I have a few games. It's pretty much about, the same amount as I had in 2020. It's not a huge list, but it's not super small either.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'll open up with one. Guild Wars.
Guild Wars?
Yeah, Guild Wars. So, Guild Wars is coming out with a expansion. Apparently a lot of people are really, really excited about it. Well, first of all, for you people who don't know, I'm a big MMO fan. I've played a lot of different types of MMOs. And it's an MMO. It's really, unique in the sense that the battle, type is kind of like a hybrid battle type. It's not your casual, normal type where, in, a MMO, you target something, you attack the thing. In Guild Wars, there is not really any hard targeting, so you don't just pick one thing and fight it, or do AoE attacks. And also, the big change from it, too, is that there's not really any roles. There's no tank, there's no DPS, there's no healer.
Well, I guess, I still don't know, because I tried to give Guild Wars a shot, and I guess I haven't gotten there yet, because I was still, really beginner, and I'm just I can't handle this.
And, I love what they did with it, because they basically gave every player a toolkit that you're your own personal healer. You can get your stuff out of trouble if you really want to.
Okay.
They make it so, okay, just watch out for the danger zones, and you usually won't die. The really, really hard stuff, it's just, a lot of paying attention to where you're moving, and, where your partners are and stuff like that. And I remember specifically, there was one boss, one area, and I was so mad. All of us were so irate at the end of this. But we spent 4 hours on one dungeon boss. And it was so funny because, my friends always brought it up because we kept dying. And I was well, and also, here's the second thing, really quickly, just to elaborate. When you die, quote-unquote, in Guild Wars, you don't die immediately. You go down into a down state, kind of like in Call of Duty or some Battle Royale or something like that.
Yeah, so you could still get revived on the field without actually dying.
Yeah, but you also have the chance to fight back. When you're down...
Oh, so it's kind of like Borderlands then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you can keep fighting a little bit while you're down, and if you kill something, you rally, so you get back up, just like Borderlands. Now, we've fought and we died and we rallied, and I had my friends pick me up multiple times. We did this for everyone. And we're in this cycle of fighting the boss for about 30 minutes, I think. And we did not want to wipe because we did not want to have to start all over again.
Yeah.
And we're I can tell all of us are getting pretty intense, you know? And so I was just I said this statement and then I died. So this was my response. I was just all right, guys, we just need to calm down. Fuck! So, it was hilarious because they always bring that up. They were always just we need to calm down. Fuck!
Little inside joke, huh?
Yeah, little inside joke.
Aww.
But, yeah, it's very unique because, again, there's no healers, no tanks, no DPS. It's super different from your casual, normal MMO-type feel to it. You've watched me play Final Fantasy. It's definitely unique. Now, I am going to take the opportunity this weekend to do kind of a nostalgia trip thing for me. And I am going to replay the Guild Wars story from the beginning.
Yes.
And so I guess that'll give you some insight as to what I'm saying and what I'm explaining.
Well, I mean, obviously the stories are going to be different because it's different. They're supposed to be different. So I'm not going to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But, we were kind of discussing this a little bit earlier, too. But because he hasn't, like, played Guild Wars in a while, and even...
5 years.
Huh?
5 years, basically.
Yeah, 5 years, yeah.
Very long time.
Well, yeah. That, like, even when you were playing Guild Wars, you weren't really telling me what's going on. Now in Final Fantasy, you were just like, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened. I'm just like, oh, okay, this sounds, good.
Yeah.
You know? Just like how you have the opposite way where I'm just like, I'm reading a book, I'm like, oh my god, it's getting so good. You're just like, oh, really, what's going on? And then you get involved like that, too.
Yeah. And I will admit that I was a bad player, and I skipped over a lot of the story. Like, I just skipped the dialogue.
That's what you were doing in Final Fantasy, and I told you to stop, and you're just like, they're just going to say the same thing.
Yeah. So going back to Guild Wars, there's going to be a lot of things that I missed. I know that there's going to be a lot of things that I missed. And then there's a lot of things that I've probably forgotten. And then there's a whole bunch of new content that I haven't gone through.
Yeah.
So, like, back then when I was playing, it was always about getting to the end game. Just getting as strong as I could, level 80, boom, So that was kind of neat.
So there's a new expansion coming out then.
Yes, so there's a new expansion coming out, and I really want to play that. So that's what kind of made me digress into this whole long thing.
Yes, it did. You steered off from the topic. You're just like, Guild Wars. Let me tell you about my past.
What can I say? It's a good game.
Oh, sure.
I advocate it. Give it a try.
Yes.
Now, honey, what do you have? What are you looking forward to?
I don't know if it's something that I am looking forward to. It's just, I always give these people a shot, and it's Harvest Moon. Now, yeah, a lot of people, have grown up with Harvest Moon, which Yeah, you included. I didn't realize, I think, maybe about 10 years ago, that Harvest Moon, or the creator of Harvest Moon, split off, and then made his own company, Story of Seasons, while the other people kept Harvest Moon, which I didn't know that until, I was, researching Harvest Moon games and Story of Seasons games, and then that topic came up. I cannot talk.
I've had a day like that, too. It's fine.
So the past, Harvest Moon games that I've played, the last one I've played from the new, quote-unquote, Harvest Moon was Skytree Village. And I didn't really enjoy it. So now with this new game coming out, Harvest Moon One World, I want to give it a shot. And I don't want to have that past experience. I didn't like these games, and I hope it changes. I hope there's something new, and I hope they kind of bring some life back into the games.
Yeah, I felt that too when looking at the newer Harvest Moon stuff. I felt like they just tried to innovate too much, and they took away some good things of the series that made it feel like home, and then it just didn't feel the same, if that makes any type of sense.
Yeah, it does. I feel if I think they need to have maybe a clear message and not try to stray far from that message, maybe. And not add so many new things, that throws that out to the side,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that too, and actually, in relation to that, I'm also looking forward to Rune Factory 5.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Rune Factory stuff. I honestly, when I got into Rune Factory, I've never played a whole lot of it.
No, well, actually, you're the one. I will say this, yes, you were right, that you're the one who got me into Rune Factory, but I never actually seen you play it, yeah.
Write it down.
I'm gonna write it down.
It doesn't happen often. She doesn't say I'm right. But yeah, I'm glad that you liked it. That was something that I kind of enjoyed, but you definitely actually took off with it a lot more than I ever did.
Again, it didn't happen for me right away, because I think I got Rune Factory 3 and 4, and I'm I'm gonna try it. And I just didn't like the battles. I didn't like the monsters. You have to tame the monsters. And if you need something from them, you have to do that first in order for you to befriend a certain character. Which that's why I like to play these games, is to befriend villagers and eventually marry, because that's my thing. I like romance stuff.
They do,
yeah. And then when I was playing Rune Factory, I'm just I'm just not enjoying it. And I think it's because it was on the DS. You know, the screens were small. It was hurting my hands because I do have issues with my hands. But now that Rune Factory 4 edition, special edition, went on to the Switch, I'm like, well, I'm going to give it another shot. And then it just stuck to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Like,
what are you looking forward?
I'm looking forward to, like, definitely that, because one main reason is, like, I looked at some gameplay, I looked at some footage, it looks fun, the characters look interesting, like, I'm, like, excited to know more about it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the gameplay kind of reminds me of Portia, my time in Portia.
Oh, yes.
Like, it's, the 3D aspect is not harming it. Like, when Harvest Moon tried to do it a few times, I do feel like when it was trying to break out of its shell, it did harm it a little bit. But looking at Rune Factory, it looks like that it is absolutely 100% working in its favor right now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And actually, on that side note, too, to bring it up, I think there is another game this year that you're looking forward to.
Yes. So, like, all the games that I'm, like, mentioning, especially Rune Factory 5 that you just mentioned, they're all coming out, like, really early this year. So, like, I think, like, 2 of them come out, like, in March, and I don't know when Rune Factory 5 comes out. I need to look that up. But yes, Story of Seasons is coming out with a new game, something of Olive Town. I forgot what the name was, but it's Olive Town.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, like there's something different with it, which is basically you have, you get your farm, but it's just like kind of like an abandoned forest, and you have to cut like all the trees down, and then you actually get to build your farm, which is a different concept.
So kind of like Stardew?
Kind of, yeah. Kind of like Stardew.
Okay.
In a way. And, same thing, you befriend people, you can marry, do however you want with your farm. It's the same thing. What they did mention is that there's going to be, and I think if I'm remembering this correctly, there's going to be like over like 200 scenes or like encounters with, the villagers and stuff like that. Yeah. So I am looking forward to that. I feel like stuff needs to be like more eventful, you know? So I'm glad that they're putting more effort into it.
Yeah.
I really want to know, like, from the past, like, Story of Seasons games, how many events were there? And I don't think there was really a whole lot, so...
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know.
Yeah.
Like, thinking about that, too, though, there was another one that I was actually thinking of before the Story of Seasons one that you were mentioning.
Okay.
Branching off of our talk about my time at Portia being, what's it called?
My time at Sandrock.
Sandrock. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, that is another game that I'm looking forward to. I think it's still in development right now, but I think there will be an early access for it this month, I think. Maybe not.
Yes. So it looks like that they're trying to do some testing. I don't know if that's beta or alpha this month, so January 2021. And the initial release date set for the Steam store is stating that it's going to be March 31st.
So another March game. See, all my games are coming out in March. I'm telling you.
Actually, I think mine too is coming out in March, or
Which
maybe
one?
It's May.
Oh, it's not that Monster Hunter.
Yes, March 26th, Monster Hunter Rise. I am so excited for that.
I just seen today that they released a demo for it.
Oh, a demo?
Uh-huh. So you should definitely download it for the Switch. Yeah. Because, that's where the demo's at. So then it can get you, like, place your foot in the game before you actually go and purchase it. I like that they do demos for those. Yeah. Or any games, really.
No, they did have something new with it that I don't know if it was just released today, but for whatever reason, I just saw it today. So I don't know when it came out, but it looks amazing. Okay. So they came up with the trailer, and it's called Wyvern Riding.
Boo. Monster Hunter, boo.
So, okay, to give you an example of what a wyvern is, you remember the Rathian. He's hard to forget. That's a wyvern. You can, so basically, similar to Monster Hunter World, where like you would mount the thing and you would attack it from on top of it and knock it down. Well, instead, this time you can quite literally get on top of it, ride it. You put like leash chains around it.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can control it for a little bit.
Well, that's probably sad though, because you're torturing the animal. But okay,
I mean, it's a monster. It's trying to kill you.
That's you're true. You're true.
It's the pecking order. But okay, so you get on this thing, right?
Yeah.
And basically what happens is that you can control it for a while. You can bash it into walls, make it do damage to itself. You can run into traps and stuff like that intentionally, making it blow itself up, put itself to sleep, whatever. Or if there's another monster nearby, you can use the monster to control the monster to fight the other monster.
That sounds really chaotic.
It's Monster Hunter. Everything about this is chaotic. I think that's such a cool concept. It's something they haven't done before. And like looking more into the gameplay and stuff, and they do have the cats.
Yay!
And the cats do cook different things again.
That's like the best part of the game. It's just the cats.
The palicos, yeah.
Yes.
So there's all that again, and it's just something really cool to look forward to. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Going to be a March game, but
you think?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still waiting for anything from Dragon Age.
Oh, I know.
I'm still waiting. They kind of like not necessarily like teased again, but I think one of the developers posted a picture of something from Dragon Age, but we don't know what it is, and I mean, like, you know what it is. It's like a person with a bow and arrow, but you don't know what it is.
Oh,
okay. But yeah, and they mentioned like floating rocks in the background, and I'm just like, they kind of look like they're falling, not necessarily floating, but they could be floating too.
Huh. Okay.
But yeah, like I'm still waiting from Dragon Age stuff.
Yeah. Like, I think that the only thing that I got that was a glint of hope from it was first the fact that they're actually talking about it, and second that we heard Varric's voice, which means that Varric is most likely going to be in it.
Well,
and
yeah.
So happy.
Well, yeah, because like if you played Trespasser DLC, you can make Varric kind of like the mayor of what's that place called? Crap, I'm like blanking out. Oh my god, we just played Dragon Age 2.
Yeah.
What's the...
Is it in Dragon Age 2?
Yes, it's Dragon Age 2. We were just there.
Was it
It's based in Dragon Age 2. You don't go outside.
Oh.
It's that town.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I think it's
like
Hightown.
Or High Rock or something.
I don't think it's High Rock. I don't think it's High Rock.
I think that's Lion King. But
well, anyway, so he can have, be basically like the mayor of that town.
Okay.
Because he did give me the key to the city, and his like assistant's just like, you're not supposed to do that. And he's just like, whatever, It's Varric. But yeah, I love Varric's. I just love Varric.
Yeah.
I don't like him. I don't love him romantically, but I love him
as a character.
Oh my god, yes. He's like so the bromance,
He's just like your best friend that for whatever reason is like, he never does anything too where you're just like, it's not cool, Varric, but he gets close.
Yeah, he gets close. Yeah.
He's just the comedy relief that we all need in the series, I think.
Yeah. So I definitely think he's gonna have a role in it.
Yeah.
So
he should. I mean, he's probably without a doubt the most popular character in all of Dragon Age.
Can we date Varric? I still,
as long as he has Bianca, I'm guessing the answer is no. He's so attached to that damn thing.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah. But if something happens between him and Bianca, the actual Bianca, Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of something happened in the game anyway, so I would hope that he would just move on.
Yeah, if he moves
and then
on.
we should finally date Varric, or you know what? That's fine too. I don't have to date Varric. I'm fine with not dating Varric.
You're gonna have to go a few playthroughs through it, I'm sure.
I love playing like Inquisition, over and over again, even though I know what's gonna happen. I like seeing different dialogues. I like seeing different scenes.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen like the romance side of Iron Bull.
Yeah.
I still need to go after Iron Bull. But yeah, like, it's just fun to go through. Even if you know what's going on, you're just like, you know what? I kind of miss Colin's romance. I'm going to go play it again. And I just go back.
Yeah.
It always brings me back.
Now, I did notice, too, that you were playing, the last time you started playing Inquisition again and picked up after your, like, off of your story, you decided to make a Kunari.
Yes, I did.
Is that why you made a Kunari? Is because you're going to go after Iron Bolt?
I am.
Okay.
I am. But, like, who did I choose? I think I chose, like, a two weapon?
Yeah.
A two-handed weapon. And I do not like how slow I move. I do not like it. I was just like, I'm like trying to mash buttons. I'm like, go faster, go faster, go faster.
Because you're usually like the thief type person or like the spellcaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, those are my two roles, you know, especially because I like to heal. I'm still like playing support.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I'm the opposite. I like my big two-hander weapon. I like to smash things in the face with large damage in small intervals, so it's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Or doing a thief build, because I also like doing that kind of stuff.
I think you will like Rogue then, because that's pretty fun. You can go stealth and stuff.
Ooh. Yeah. So also on that note, like speaking about RPGs, now there's one that's coming up that I'm not sure is going to be this year. Now they've hinted so heavily on it that it's going to be this year, but we have an announcement coming up.
Ooh.
Anybody who's a fan of the series of Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO, they are going to be making an announcement on what is most likely going to be the next expansion. Now, this was disclosed by the actual developer himself that they were going to be making this big announcement onto the next steps of Final Fantasy and what to expect with 6.0, which is long, nerdy code language for that's going to be the next expansion.
Okay.
You know.
I did, like, I don't know if, like, you know, do you know if it's going to be, like, sometime next week? Maybe?
It's going to be February 5th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, February 5th is when they're going to be announcing it.
Huh, okay. Because, like, I seen, like, something from Twitter that says we could finally, like, repair Ishgard next week. And I'm just like, huh? Yeah.
I have no idea. I know that they're going to be coming out with another patch, like, releasing
maybe
more
that's
parts of the
it.
story.
Yeah.
That could be it.
Yeah, maybe that would be it. Because people are saying that, that there's more stuff for, like, the crafters.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they were referring to. So it's not like the next expansion then.
That makes me think so differently about like what's coming in the next patch then, because if again I'm not that far into the story. I am in Shadowbringers. I think
you're close.
Yeah, I am close. I'm in Shadowbringers. But there's like if we're talking about Ishgard, that's back on Eorzea, our home planet, quote unquote. Now I'm still on the light planet, we'll call it that, because I don't know its actual name.
Yeah.
I think it's called like Norzarad or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think you're pretty close.
Yeah. So we're still on that. So if we're back there, then that means we took care of whatever we needed on that planet or failed, and we're back home now. Which I think then that either means that the next expansion is going to take place back on Eorzea, or it means that we're coming back to take care of shit before leaving again. And I'm going to be really interested to see what happens, because plot-wise, there's like multiple planets that are different elements.
Yeah.
We're currently on the one of light, and whenever there's a imbalance of such like magnitude, then like basically world-ending events happen, catastrophes. And we're starting to find out that this is what's causing catastrophes, yada yada yada. Now, I don't expect Final Fantasy to just be like, oh, cool, no more catastrophe. You know, I feel like it's going to be like, oh, we averted this one.
There's going to be. There has to be.
Yeah, there's always got to be some type of danger.
Yeah.
So that makes me think that we're either going to, again, try and save our planet from one on our own accord, or we go to another planet and stop it from getting unstable in the first place. Because think of it as kind of like alternate dimensions, kind of. If one of them gets imbalanced, it influences the other. So one way to fix the problem is to basically like, force it and say like, okay, we're going to defend against whatever type of catastrophe this is. And that's extremely hard to do, and nobody's ever done it successfully.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're talking about like the water dimension basically got imbalanced, and it caused a giant typhoon that just washed over the entire planet.
Yeah.
How are you going to fight against a giant typhoon?
A giant flood.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the better option is, just to go to the water planet, fix their shit before it breaks yours. You know, like.
Yeah. I am proud of myself that I figured out who the other Light Warden was. I'm just like, I bet you, and you're just like,
yeah.
Maybe.
I was like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. That'd be weird. And then it, like, announces it, and I'm like, yeah.
She was right. I'm always right.
You also saw, like, a feature of the boss before I did, and I was like, what? And you're like,
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? There is? And then you're like, oh, God, there is. So, yeah, that was pretty neat.
I'm proud of myself for that.
So, might be something for me to look forward to, question mark? Maybe another expansion for
question
Final
mark.
Fantasy. Like, if that's the case, then I'm getting 2 expansions in 1 year. And that's not bad. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
And have to pick and choose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, MMOs are pretty, like, I don't want to say that they're devoting, but...
They are devoting.
Yeah.
Especially for a person that is really bad at devoting. Except for his relationship, which I do appreciate for you to devote so much into our relationship. But to video games, you're horrible at it.
Only you, boo. What else did we have?
What about Nier?
Oh, Nier.
Nier is also coming out in March.
Yeah.
Like, again, like, everything's getting slammed for, like, March. And I'm just like, I can't take it.
So... I do want to mention too, like, I wanted to pass it by your opinion on this. Because they recently, now this is kind of cool, like a cool tidbit that we can share too while we're on the topic.
Okay.
3 years and 10 months after the release of this game. So this game has been out for 3 years and 10 months.
We're talking about Nier Automata.
Yes, Nier Automata.
Not the new
one.
remake that's coming out.
3 years?
Huh?
How could the new one be out for 3 years? It's not.
I'm talking about the new one. I'm talking about the new game, and then you start talking about the old game, and I'm just like, whoa, calm down.
I'm talking about the old one really quickly, just because this is going to segue into the new one.
Yeah.
This one's been out for a long time, yada, yada, yada. Some guy found out in the code, like, by chance, by looking at it, by whatever, he found out that there's a secret code that you can do in a specific corner of the start of the game to where you could just, like, cheat code unlock your way, and it brings, like, this secret ending. A secret ending beyond the endings. Now, for people who haven't played Nier Automata, there are, like, as many endings as alphabet letters.
Yeah, it's literally from A to Z, and it goes in that, well, not necessarily saying in that order, but there's always an ending for the letter.
Yeah, there's an ending that signifies the letter.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, now I'm not saying this is one because I don't remember any of them.
Yeah, because
you could say, like,
hasn't finished it.
Like, E could stand for easygoing, like, person, you know, and that means just, like, you decided not to do an event or something.
Yeah, or L is for left turn. You walked left, and now the game just ended, and you're just like, what?
That's an actual thing in the game.
It is.
So yeah, there's a whole bunch of different endings. It's super cool that somebody found a random secret one that was in the code of the game.
Yeah.
So I have to appreciate that. Now, how this segues into the new one is I wonder if they're going to do that again. And I wonder if people are going to be smarter this time, knowing that there's secrets into it, to be able to find it faster. I think that'll be neat to figure out.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah. The game does look really cool, though.
It does look good.
Yeah.
It does look good. And I'm going to be, like, blown away about the soundtrack, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Because Nier Automata soundtrack was amazing. So, I'm waiting for the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And, of course, the story, too.
Yeah, and it looks really good, like, visually wise. It looks amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really curious to know what's happening, because I believe that this takes place...
Before Nier Automata.
Pre-Automata.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be really interested to see, like, the story, the world before everything went to shit, and however it got to Nier Automata.
Yeah.
So that's going to be neat. Yes, I am looking forward to that one.
Well, cool. Anything else?
Cyberpunk.
No.
Not a game that came out. Not a game that came out.
We're not talking about Cyberpunk here on this channel.
We haven't
We
played
spoke
it
about
yet.
it once. Yeah, this
That's
is
still
for
a 2021
it's
game.
upcoming new games. Cyberpunk
New
is not a
games.
new game. It will be a new game for us.
New game for us, yes. Okay.
What?
So,
No.
well then fine. Cyberpunk, aside then. We'll talk about another game that came out in 2020. Final Fantasy. Now,
What?
they...
Oh, the remake?
Yeah, the remake part 2.
Yes.
I don't know if that's actually coming out this year or if it's going to be 2022. Did we ever figure that
I
out?
don't think they've said anything, but
Yeah.
that would be considered as an upcoming game because they're not going to make it.
Yeah, well,
We
yeah,
just
they're
don't
not
know if
going
it's
to.
this year or next year.
Well, whichever one they're going to do, it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to love it. I'm going to play it.
What do we mean? What?
I said no matter what they do, I'm going to love it, and I'm going to play it.
Oh, what they do?
Yeah, so Square Enix.
Well, yeah, I thought you meant like multiple games. I'm like, what?
No, I mean, I can't see them splitting it off into more than 2, but...
I'm not. Well, I'm not talking about the remake. I'm talking about Final Fantasy games.
Oh.
Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, there are technically
because
2.
yeah, this the 16,
Yeah,
right?
4. Oh, yeah, there's that one too. Mm-hmm. Also, there's 3. There's the expansion. There's the expansion for Final Fantasy 14.
Oh god.
There's Final Fantasy 7, the remake part 2,
Yes.
depending on if that comes out this year or not.
Yeah.
And then there's Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
That one.
That one
amazing.
I'm more excited for.
Yeah.
I would be excited for Final Fantasy Remake Part 2 if you finish the game. Or I'm just gonna go and finish the game for you because I'm not waiting.
It's honestly not that bad. I mean, once you get to like later levels, it does get a little crazy, but if you've beaten Dragon Age, I feel like
I'm just gonna pick up where you left off. I'll just figure it out from there.
No.
Yeah.
I would like to see you try. It was hard. And I'm pretty sure I didn't do it on easy because I was like being stubborn and it was just like, yeah, I'm a Final Fantasy fan. There's no way I'm going to do it on the easy mode.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you did play it on a harder mode, but I've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
So I would like you to play it and finish. Please.
Okay.
But yeah, Final Fantasy 16 looks good, but nothing on them too, right?
No, not really.
I'm kind of like a bit sad
Yeah.
that there really isn't. Like they released that map like sometime last year, but that was really it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they're working on a lot of things at once, and I hope that they're just not like
Well, it's not
overdoing
gonna
it.
be. It's not gonna be like the same people.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
no, there's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be.
different branches.
Yeah, it's gonna be different people working on it. So there should be no excuses as to like giving us some information on something.
I mean, at least it's not going to be like Final Fantasy 15. 15 was 10 years in the making.
Yeah.
Like-
Because you did tell me that.
Yeah,
And
as long
a lot
as
of
it's
people
not-
were upset over it.
Oh, yeah. At least it didn't
I
take them 10
wasn't.
years.
I mean, I was upset with the ending, but I'm just like, it kind of goes with the plot.
Bittersweet.
Yeah. I love Ignis. I'm just gonna say that.
You love Ignis.
I love Ignis. And yeah, I'm just gonna continue loving him. I'll go back. I'll go and play the game.
I wish they could do like crossover cameos of like characters and just like throw Ignis in there or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it has to be like within the Final Fantasy world, or even Kingdom Hearts, because sometimes the Final Fantasy characters get in there too.
Yeah, because
Throwing them in there.
Because like Kingdom Hearts is a weird mixture between Disney worlds and Final Fantasy worlds.
Yeah. It's just
There's
like
not-
really random.
Yeah, there's not really any explanation for it. It's just like, oh, hey, so you're talking to Donald and Goofy, and suddenly Squall's there too, by the way, and it's like, eh.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's really, really crazy.
It's random.
Very random. But the newer Kingdom Hearts didn't have Final Fantasy characters, did it? I think they stuck with Disney for that.
I think so. Yeah. Actually, I think you're right. I think they did. If they did, they had like really brief cameos of like Yuffie and maybe, I don't think Squall was in it. But yeah, I'm going to have to go back and actually look at that because I feel like there was like maybe 1 or 2 cameos, but not as many as there was in the previous
Yeah,
games.
like in the older
They really
version.
focused on Disney. Yeah.
Yeah. Or more themselves too, like the Kingdom Hearts, like Sora and the
Yeah.
Dark area over there. I forgot what they're called. But the Black Robes people.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. There's the Heartless. There's the
Heartless.
Nobodies. There's the
Yeah.
I think that was a wise decision on their part because at that point in time they had so many antagonistic roles of the same dude, Xehanort, that they eventually had to they had to bring that villain to a close. So like focusing on him specifically for the storyline. And not branching it off and saying like, oh, and this is happening on like a side note, and this is happening like they did with the other ones.
Yeah,
that was a lot smarter because it left focus for a very complex story where normal people would just be like, what the hell's going on? And I'm sure, like, I feel bad for anybody that just decides to try and get into Kingdom Hearts 3, like as their very first Kingdom Hearts game that they're ever playing.
Yeah,
because this is not gonna work. You're going to, like, get to, like, some scene, and then people are going to be jumping in. And you're like, who's that? Why did that person come out of that person?
Yeah.
What happened here? Why is that person glowing? And you're just going to be so confused.
Yep, they need to all play the older games to know what exactly is going on. Even I didn't know what was going on. And you're just like, this happened. I'm like, oh, okay.
Damn, that's that song that Skrillex did.
Oh.
So
yeah, I'm not a fan of Skrillex, but he did that song justice. So,
he did do
all
really
right,
good.
cool.
Because all the other ones previously were a very unique sound to them. I don't want to say they were indie, because they definitely weren't, but they weren't pop.
Yeah.
Like, what would you even call that?
Japanese pop.
Like J-pop, kind of. But yeah, then to have this as like the new modern thing and follow with the modern of it. And it was very cool. Something awesome. Yeah. So as speaking of like future stuff, I hope that becomes, there is a Kingdom Hearts 4 that we have to look forward to.
Well, yeah, because it kind of left off with like a really weird ending, kind of like a Final Fantasy ending, because it was like super realistic. Well, not super realistic, but a Final Fantasy game, and you're just like, who that dude? Yeah, and it just ends, and you're just like, ha.
Yeah, it's like this random movie scene kind of thing that you get from like the Toy Story world hinted, but I mean, there's no real meaning for it, and you're so confused as to what's going on. You don't know what's happened to the main character at this point, and it just stops. And you don't know that ending unless you do some certain thing in the game, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. But apparently I did it, so I got to see the ending, and I was like, what the hell? And I get really confused over Kingdom Hearts, and I played all of them.
Yeah.
And I'm a avid fan of it. Even avid fans are so confused with the series. But that confused me even worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm very confused. And I really hope that there's a Kingdom Hearts 4. And I hope they don't make us wait like 5 years like they did in between the last one. Because that's basically how long it was between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. Yeah,
I'd be happy if they, like, you know, still keep the original actors, like Haley Joel Osment as Sora. You know, I love that guy so much. You know, and
Sora's an awesome character.
Sora, well, yeah, he alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Donald's better.
I am still just blown away by the fact that Donald is canon the strongest black mage in all of Final Fantasy lore.
Yeah. I don't know how, and I'm not gonna ask why. I'm gonna go.
It's all beyond asking. Don't ask questions. Just smile and nod.
Smiling and nodding. Okay.
It's the only way you'll get through that series.
What about, because I haven't heard anything yet, and I don't think you probably won't have either. Legend of Zelda? Breath of the Wild?
Oh.
Part 2? Sequel? Anything?
I heard that they were talking about like a potential like leak date or release date or talk date.
Maybe they would do that for the anniversary of Legend of Zelda.
They could, yeah. Actually, I remember them saying something about the anniversary.
And also, like, there's, like, rumors going around that they're gonna remake Ocarina of Time for the Switch, too. And I'm just like, I know, I was just like, yes, please?
Like, if they do as good of a job as remaking it as, like, they did for the Final Fantasy, like, modern, like, giving it a little modern hint, but making it...
Well, yeah, because, like, the original games is just, like, basically, like, diamond-shaped hands, and and then you'll actually get hands this time.
Yeah, like if you make the combat a little bit more like engaging, like you don't just slash things and block things, like that's enough, honestly.
Yeah,
but
that's all you can do. He's a kid, unless adult.
Yeah. But if you add stuff like you did for Breath of the Wild, like honestly, it is a amazing game in itself. You really don't have to do anything with it. They could take the extra step and try and do something with it or not. No matter what happens, if it looks amazing, everyone's gonna fucking play it. Yeah, I guarantee you.
Yeah, or just to like play the remake of it, because we grew up on that too, and we still love it.
I'd love to see their take on some of the characters though that are like
Epona.
No, like...
What do you mean, no? Epona's a character.
Okay. Yes, Epona, but not, like... What I'm anxious about is, like, their take on characters that were basically built character design around the blocky style that they had back then.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember those witches with the big eyeballs?
Yeah, those were really creepy.
Creepy, yeah.
Yeah.
How are they going to do that in, like, a 3D sense?
I don't want to know.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, they could go very well or they could go bad, but...
Well, I mean, like, it can... I think it could go, like, only one way, and it's just going to be bad for me.
I'm making signals at her right now, so I don't think that there's really any other games to talk about. I originally said that there wasn't really a lot of games that I was looking forward to playing, but, like... that the list was, like, kind of meh. Now that I think about it, the list is actually pretty long.
And it doesn't, like, it's also the content that, that's inside those games, too, that make it longer, too.
Yeah.
When, like, we don't know much about Dragon Age, but we just went la on Dragon Age.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's still good regardless, so.
Yeah, so, I mean... a lot of things to look forward to, more than I expected. That's always a good thing coming out of a list like this.
Sure.
And I guess more to look forward to, and more to look forward to on the channel, because obviously we're going to keep talking about stuff. We're going to have a lot more topics for you guys. Now that we did our wrap-up and our reviews and all that stuff like that, we're going to have a lot more content for you guys in the future. Please look forward to that. Like, subscribe, so you guys can keep in the loop with everything that's going on. You can get our podcasts as they come out. Again, we update on Fridays. So just, look out for us. And if you have any comments, questions, feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. So
we would.
Let us know what you guys would like to hear us talk about, what we have opinions on. Even if it's something just small, just leave a comment. We'll make sure to drop a comment on it if we can. So, on that note, I think we'll probably just close it out here.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys later.
All right. See you later.